Rishi Sunak will lead the Conservatives into the next election, Mark Harper has said. We're going to read into this more from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from The Guardian with the headline that Rishi Sunak will lead the Tories into election, Mark Harper says. The Cabinet Minister urged backbenchers to have confidence in the party's leadership amid reports of a plot to remove the Prime Minister. Guys, while you're here, before I give my initial thoughts, if you can, hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. Well, unfortunately, Mark, not everyone is going to unite and agree with you because, quite frankly, considering there has been so much, guys, so much talk about where are we going? Where is the general election going to happen? How long has Sunak got? What is being done to help bring the navigate? Because what was normally what I was expecting. So we are in 17. Time of this recording is 17th of March. Okay, so we're 3 months into the new year. We're expecting a general election to be called this year. It's entirely possible it may be called late January 2025. Not 100% sure. Now, I, along many other people who initially believed that May election was going to take place in May, we do know that it's not going to be on May the 2nd, which is when mayoral elections and other local elections are going to take place. We know a general election is not going to be called at that same time. It's been a given. The Rishi Sunak has already ruled that out. However, at the time of this recording, again, we don't know when it hasn't been called. But it is still entirely possible that a May general election may be called. It's entirely possible that he may push it till July. It's entirely possible it may be in September, October, November. Either way, as of right now, the Conservative Party are doomed. They're bunged. They're done. They're finished. They're all dead, pretty much. Dead in the water, really. And the point is about mitigating the damage. And one of the big arguments that a lot of experts have been basically saying is that the longer the Conservatives stay in power, the more seats they're likely to lose at the general election. It's one of the biggest arguments that have been made, and I'm sure that argument is being made among Conservative MPs amongst each other about what the decision to be made here. And that's why I'm kind of inclined to agree. But does Sunak really give a damn about the Conservative Party? Hand on my heart, no. He does not. Does he care about the general public? Hell no. He definitely doesn't care about the general public. And you only need to see how he's handling ever since he became Prime Minister and what he's done. The only good thing he's ever done as a politician is the furlough scheme. Whether you agree or disagree with the furlough scheme is up to you. But that's the only positive that he has done. That's the only positive, in my opinion, that he has done. And I think it was a good thing that he done at the time of when it was the crisis that we was in. But apart from that, he's done pretty much F all, really, for the country. And this really does upset, really does bother me. Because he hasn't really come out and taken the bull by the horns and actually looked to bring integrity, intelligence and whatnot and actually bring about a change that for the better. And he just hasn't. In any way, shape or form. In fact, there's parts of me that feels like he's even worse than Johnson and Liz Truss. Because it just comes across to me like a guy that just, pretends that he keeps saying that he's getting on with the plan with growing the economy and bringing down inflation. And it's just the same old stuff over and over again. And it's just driving me bonkers. How are you supposed to win voters if you're not going to give something that's going to make people's lives better? And the budget from Jeremy Hunt exacerbates this as well, with no real need. Like, they kept going on about tax cuts. People don't want tax cuts. They want investment in public services. Our public services are crumbling. I mean, I was just literally we've covered here on the channel about how our councils are running bankrupt, are really struggling. Did you know universities are struggling as well? It could be going bankrupt as well. Did you know that some of our universities, just to add on top of things going bankrupt around here as well? Yeah, I know. Shocking. And what's being done about all this? What's the government doing about on this? They're kind of just sitting on their laurels while the world around us continues to crumble. So the question, I guess, the $1 million question, shall we say, Should Sunak go now so that a new leader can come in to give him the best possible chance of minimising the damage at the general election? If the Conservatives are serious about trying to hold on to more seats out of this time, the answer is depending on when the general election is called. So let's say, hypothetically, they don't call a general election in May, okay, and they plan to call it in November. Let's just say, hypothetically, that's what they're going to do, yeah? Then my answer would be yes. Remove Rishi Sunak because he's not making any changes that are benefiting the party. Then the next question is, okay, well, who are you putting in charge then? Well, the problem is that they don't really have anyone who has any kind of common sense. I mean, they have a common sense minister, but he doesn't apply common sense to her wording. You have Penny Mordaunt, who could potentially die on a sword defending the Conservative Party. You have Michael Gove, that could start a few raves with his allegedly cocaine stuff there. There doesn't appear to be. There's no one in the Conservative Party that sticks out to me saying that man can take on the helms. Now, it can't be Boris Johnson because he's no longer an MP, even though some people want him back. It certainly cannot be Liz Truss because we've already seen the reaction that the public and Conservative MPs have when she came in. So who is it going to be? That's the thing. So let me know in the comment section who you actually honestly think is going to be number one to replace Sunak. Why do you think that person is going to replace Sunak? Because there are quite a few. There are still quite a few options. None of them are good. Jeremy Hunt. God no, please not Jeremy Hunt. Not Jeremy Hunt, please no. But I just think replacing Sunak will actually give a boost and may actually save some seats. Now, if a general election is called in May, let's just say, and now if a general election is called in May, then there's obviously, to me, there's no point changing the leader if they're going to call the general election in May at this point. If there is still a possibility that it could still be called. It's unlikely, but there's still a possibility. There doesn't really seem to be any benefit to doing that, in my opinion. I don't think that's going to be a good idea. I think at this point, you go with Sunak and you just, see how it goes, and we're expecting a lot of tactical voting from many groups out there who will be looking to bring them down. And I think that's what it's looking to be. Now, if Sunak somehow is here all the way to the end of January, I just don't see that happening to try and secure this India trade deal, which is one of the things why some people allegedly are saying why he's hanging on. He's trying to enrich himself even more. That's entirely possible. There was also a story coming from Sam Coates of Sky, I think it was. It might have been, I'm not 100% sure on that, in which some MPs said they need to stay in their jobs longer because they don't have any other jobs, or they got debts to pay and they need their salaries to help mitigate those costs, apparently, which is one really angry thing. There was one minister within Conservatives that was quoted as saying that they don't want peace in the Middle East within what's happening with the war in Gaza, apparently, because they don't want peace there because it will mean that the Labour Party would be united, and which I'm thinking, like, my premise is that who the hell cares? Sorry, not my mic. Who the hell cares what Labour thinks? Yeah, you're the ones that are in government right now. You are the ones in government right now. Forget what Labour are doing, okay? As of right now, the government is the Conservative Party. They are the ones in power. They are the ones in charge right now. They're the ones that get to make these decisions, yeah? What are you guys doing to fix the country? What are you guys doing? And you're more concerned about Labour, and not concerned about your own well-being. So, yeah, lots and lots of issues. The Conservatives, whatever they decide, they have to make a decision, in my opinion, that I think that will mitigate their damage. And I think the best way for them to minimise their damage is to call a general election in May, so they don't suffer as bad as losses as I think they will be the longer it drags out. Because the longer we drag out the postponement of a general election, the more upsetting people will want. Because, yes, I understand many people have commented and said they don't trust Labour, and I don't trust Labour either. But I'd rather take something different right now. Let's try something different. I don't want another blue. We've had 14 years of having the blue pill. Let's take the red pill. Let's see what happens. It's 14 years since Labour have been last in power. It's not the same politicians, but I know some people will say they're red Tories, and that's fine. We can call them red Tories if you want, But let's try something different, guys. Let's try something different. Because at this point, I don't want any more Conservatives. And we have a first past the post system, so we can't vote Green here in England. So vote Green or Lib Dems or Reform, as some people want. That's the situation we're kind of in. So Rishi Sunak will lead the Conservative Party into an election at the end of the year, despite rebellious MPs plotting to oust him to avoid wipeout at the polls, a senior cabinet minister has said. Mark Harper, the Transport Secretary, told his fellow MPs to have some confidence in the party's leadership, insisting Sunak was focused on making the right decisions for the country. But he's not making the right decisions for the country. We know that. Many backbench Tory MPs are increasingly concerned about losing their seats after a torrid week for the Prime Minister, with his budget failing to deliver an immediate bounce in the polls, the defection of Lee Anderson to Reform, and the party's embroiled racism row over its biggest donor. There's been speculation in recent days that some MPs on the right, as of the party, want Penny Mordaunt, the leader of the Commons, to act as a stalking horse candidate to trigger a leadership contest before the next general election. Asked whether Sunak will still be the Tory leader at the election, Harper told Sunday Morning with Trevor Phillips, "Yes, he will. He'll be taking us into the election, and he will set out very clearly what with a government with a plan. I will be supporting him all the way through, and I'm very confident that my colleagues will." According to private polling seen by the Mail on Sunday, the Tories are heading for the worst defeat in their history. The seat-by-seat research, which the newspaper says was conducted on behalf of corporate businesses, suggests Labour could be on course to win 250 seats and the Conservatives fewer than 150. Now, I've seen some results saying that it could be less than 100, which would be catastrophic for them. I think the best outcome would be for them. The best outcome for the in my opinion, would be that they don't even get opposition and they end up becoming the third largest party. I think that would be the best thing. There will be fewer than 165 the Conservatives won in 1997 and 156 in 1906. Liberal landslide. In the best case scenario for the Tories, indicate a 50-seat Labour majority. Harper urged anxious colleagues to stay the course, telling them that politics is a team game. He said, "What I would say to all my colleagues is this. I've spent my time as Transport Secretary focusing on doing what I think is the right thing for the country, making decisions that I think are sensible. That is the right approach for the MP as well." He focused on making the right decisions. Mordaunt made no comment about the claims, but her supporters said that she was not party to or made aware of any plot, that she believed the stories were any attempts by right-wing rivals to damage any challenge that she may make in the future. Several Tory MPs maintain that Mordaunt has been on manoeuvres for months, making clear that she would be happy to visit MPs' constituencies and get to know their local party officials. Sunak has ruled out holding a general election on the 2nd of May, the date of the local elections, and has previously indicated he will send the country to the polls this autumn. Labour and the Lib Dems, who've taken up the prospect of a May vote, have accused the Prime Minister of bottling it and of squatting in number 10. Harper said the Prime Minister made it clear from the beginning of the year that his works assumptions was that the election was going to be at the end of the year. All this sort of front that we've had about election being in May was always nonsense. Frankly, he made it clear at the beginning of the year. Jonathan Ashworth, the Shadow Paymaster General, called on Sunak to name the election date. There's Tory MPs who are in the papers today saying Rishi Sunak can't continue, he said. It's not in the national interest anymore. It is irresponsible. We need stability in this country. He could stabilise this by naming the date of a general election. Otherwise, they fear we may have a Tory leadership election ahead of a general election. We all want a general election. We want a general election. We want that date being called, and we want fundamental change. The public want it. We know that. What the Conservatives are more concerned about is their own party and how they're looking at how they are going to survive. Is what they're looking at, and how can they minimise the damage. That's what they're generally concerned about. They don't give a toot whatsoever about the situation that the country is in, the UK is in. They don't care about that. They're looking at themselves, they're looking at their party, and they're trying to think of how can they survive this. This is what they're looking at. That's their priority, and how they can minimise that damage. That's what they're looking at, and that's what I think they're going to be trying to do. Whether at the time of recording things will dramatically change, we'll obviously have to wait and see. But I'm still kind of hoping for a May election. I'm still hoping for a May election. I could be wrong. I know many people are still saying it could be in autumn, July, it could be in November. There's lots of ways to speculate, but the sooner we have the Conservatives gone, the better, guys. Let's get rid of the toxicity that we have in the Conservative Party. I think 14 years is long enough, and I think we're about done with it, guys. But what do you guys think? What do you honestly think? Do you think Rishi Sunak is still going to call a general election in May? Is he still going to call one in November? Is he going to call one in late January? Or is he not going to get to call one at all because he's going to get kicked out? Could he hold the party to ransom, threaten to call a general election if they tried to push him out? There's all sorts of speculation about what could happen, but what do you guys honestly think about all this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button, we greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video, and subscribe because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further and financially support me in the work I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.